Welcome to the SOSCAST, where all we talk is money. I'm your host, Adam Sosnick, and I'm here to help you build your wealth and save that money. On today's show, we're going to be discussing what generation is most likely to live paycheck to paycheck. We're going to be discussing the NBA draft and the money these athletes are expected to make. We're going to help you take control of your money with a mid-year review. We're going to also discuss if hip-hop is bad for your wallet. And of course, we're going to be answering your questions. Let's talk money.
All we talk is money. All we talk is money. All we talk is money. All we talk is money. We all know money talks. Well, SOS does too. About that very money that be speaking to you. SOS talks money. Yeah, that's what he's talking. Y'all talk funny about what you rockin'. You'll be sorry in the future. All you do is waste your cash. You better save that money. Yeah, you better make it last. And make that pesky debt a silly bitch from your past. We all gotta make it. Yeah, we all gotta earn. Oh, you a dummy with that money. Well, today you gon' learn. SOS talks money, spell it out, SOS. Now you stacking that money. SOS talks ways to invest and get your shit in church so you can chill and be blessed. All we talk is money. 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 All we talk is money.
Okay, Dave. Little slow fade out right there. What's up? We are live on the SOSCAST. How we feeling?
Feeling good.
Who do we got here today? We got a whole squad here today. They set me up for success. We got my boy David right here. Dave, how you feeling?
Feeling good, Sauce. Feeling good.
We got Paul E in the house.
What's going on, Sauce?
Paul is usually behind the scenes, but now he's here helping us. In fact, we got Samuel in the house. But most importantly, you know who we got here? We got everybody from Valuetainment here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Respect. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. We're gonna go an hour long. Let me just set up everybody what we're gonna be discussing today. I said it in the intro what we're gonna be talking about. But this is a personal finance show. Let me just set the tone here of what's actually happening. This is a personal finance show. This isn't a business show. This isn't a political show. This isn't a pop culture show. This is to help you guys out there get better with your money. Let me ask you something, David. You're a pretty funny guy. When you think of personal finance, what do you think of?
I think about the debt I owe right now.
You owe some money.
I got the student loans, the
okay,
bit of credit card
personal
debt.
finance. Paul, what do you think of personal finance?
I think of Dave Ramsey.
Oh, Dave Ramsey. Hi, you go, Dave Ramsey here. Walking the Prince of Peace with Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, Dave Ramsey, he's the GOAT for sure. But, you know, we're going to do things a little bit different around here. We're going to have a lot more of that tainment over here than they do with the Ramsey show.
Hell yeah.
But let me tell you something. When I think of personal finance, you know what I think of?
Tell me something.
Personal finance, a.k.a. your money. Personal, it's you. It's you. It's all about you. Everybody in the comment section, I see you right there. I'm hearing a lot of good comments over there. Respect. Personal, you. Finance, money. All we talk is money. Personal finance is your money. So that's what this show's about. We're going to help you get better with your money, help you build wealth, help you create financial wellness in your life. You know, wellness is a big thing they're talking about these days.
That's why I personally asked to be in this seat.
You
just
personally
so I could
asked
help, but also
for
just
personal
get free
finance.
lessons.
What's funny is David's here producing the show, but more than anyone, you're gonna learn some stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Your net worth is gonna skyrocket after being a part of this show.
Yeah.
So respect to you. So before we get into some of the topics, maybe let's discuss why we're doing this live show. Paul, is that okay with you?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do. You got a great
Paul's got a great radio
sweaty
voice.
balls vibe going on there. Paul Sweaty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies, Paul's single for good reason.
Holla at your boy.
Anyway, here's my quick story, and then we'll get into the topics. I actually want to hear what people have to say about some of these topics. We're checking the comment section. David, you checking the comment section?
I am.
It's
yeah.
lit. It's on fire. We're doing stuff. Respect to you guys. We see you. We see you. We see you. What's up in the comment section? So, if you saw my video on Who is SOS, did you happen to see that video by any chance?
Great video.
Thank you.
I learned a lot. I work
you
with
learned
them
a
every
lot
day,
about me.
and I
Okay,
learned a
thank
lot
you.
about
Well,
SOS.
here's the deal. If you asked me 10, 12 years ago, what are the chances you're going to be hosting a financial show? I would laugh all the way to the non-bank that I had, right? So did not have money, did not come from money. Knew that money was kind of cool,
Right.
was kind of important,
Yeah.
but didn't go get that money. That wasn't my thing.
Didn't save that money.
Yeah, I mean, went to college, went to Florida State. I was all about sports, chicks, beers, drinking, having a good time, telling jokes. And I actually became a stand-up comedian right after college. I learned sales a little bit. I did nightlife in Miami for many years, hospitality. Paul, you've been out with me to Bodega.
Yeah, I was
before.
gonna say you're probably still doing nightlife.
I probably am. When you save that money, and I probably saved legit well over $1 million in expenditures
Right.
in 20 years of partying in South Beach, because all my friends are the promoters or the owners, and I mean, save that money when you go to South Beach. So if any of you guys are listening, you're going to South Beach, please hit me up. I'll get you where you need to go so you can save that money. But anyway, the last job that I had before I got into financial sales, which I started off as a cold caller, is I was a substitute teacher. I was the fun.
the cool
I was
sub.
the cool sub. I was 26
Yeah.
years old. I didn't go by Mr. Soz or Mr. Sosnick. I
was
went
it?
by Mr. Adams.
Mr. Adams?
Yeah, Adam, it's my name,
He
Mr.
got
Adams.
sauce. You went by Mr.
I wish we
Adams.
could move this thing. Went by Mr. Adams, and I was one day I was teaching second grade, one day I was teaching PE, one day I was teaching wood shop.
Yep.
And I was doing something different every single day until the second grade teacher got sick, and they go, "Hey, Mr. Adams, would you like to teach second grade for the rest of the year?" And I checked my schedule. I had nothing else going on other than some comedy jokes that I was doing at the time. So I became a second grade teacher, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. There was only one problem, David. Take a guess what that
you hate
problem was.
kids.
No, I like kids. I like kids. I want to have kids one day. What do you think the problem was?
No clue.
There's no money.
No, yeah,
There's
yeah.
no
Zero
money in substitute
subbing.
teaching. I think I made like $90 a day.
Give me a lunch
Cool,
money.
respect. But basically driving yourself crazy and dealing with kids and making $90 a day,
Yeah.
that was the tipping point where I said, I got to figure out this money situation, bro. This ain't good out here.
Right.
I can't even pay rent. So that's how it started. I got a job as a cold caller for a financial firm. I knew nothing about finance. I knew nothing about sales, for that matter. I knew nothing about insurance or investments. But I got a job. But luckily, I had a good mentor. Crazy tip out there. If you don't know where to start, find yourself a mentor. Get hired by someone. I mean, a lot of people, pay PBD. Respect.
Right.
He's a mentor of ours, of mine for sure. But this particular mentor of mine, his name was Mark. And he said, look, get a job as a cold caller here. You'll be like my number two, my understudy. You're not going to make shit your first year. You won't make anything. But in your second year, if you stick it out and you do your thing, you can make six figures. And the most amount of money I ever made at that point in my life was $22,000, okay?
Yikes.
So, I mean, look, when you're doing stand-up comedy, you're doing, they pay you in laughs and drinks.
Yeah.
When you're in the club business, maybe you make a couple $100 a night, maybe, but you're getting free drinks. Great stories with that. As the SOSCAST rolls on, I'm sure we'll get into those kind of stories.
Oh, yeah.
But basically, I'm not making any money. Fast forward, I start to make some money, some serious money. 2008, I make my first $100,000 of my life. Do you know what it's like to make $22,000, the most you've ever made, and then boom, second year in the business, you make $100,000? It's life changing. It's life changing. Living paycheck to paycheck, which we'll discuss in a second. But the game changed. Then 2008 recession happened. I saw basically Bear Stearns, Credit Suisse that I was dealing with. Bear Stearns went under. All these financial firms I was dealing with, they bailed out of the marketplace. I saw all these people. These companies that were living high off the hog, people are getting fired. I know people that were driving Rolls Royces, living their best life. They lost their job. They had to, turn it in for a Camry. And I learned, save that money, bro.
Yeah.
Because these things don't last forever. Sometimes you're going to, have some rainy days. Save that money.
Absolutely.
Emergency
Yeah.
fund, rainy day funds. So long story short, I got a job in the financial world. Started to make some serious loot, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. I'm making $500,000. This is fucking crazy. I was telling jokes and at the club, less than 10 years ago. And now I'm making serious loot. And who do I meet in 2012 working out in the gym?
Who's that?
PBD.
PBD.
Patrick Bet David. You know the name,
at
you know
the
the
gym.
game. Well, he was at the gym
Yeah.
at a financial conference. It was a financial conference. They last 3-4 days. And you got to get a workout in because they feed you well. You're eating well. And, I met PBD in the gym. Anyway, point is, we've kept a friendship. And about, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we started talking about coming on to Valuetainment. My show's been on for a year now. But that's the bottom line, I started from nothing. I was the guy crashing on friends' couches. Fast forward to 10 years later, I had NBA players crashing on my couch. I can tell that story.
Right.
But basically, I learned about money. That's the bottom line. Is I learned about budgeting, getting out of debt, understanding the importance of saving, investing, where to invest, rate of return, compound interest, insurance. What kind of insurance? Health insurance, life insurance. Do you buy term? Do you buy perm? What's the difference? How's your hair looking? You get a perm? Not that kind of perm. And I realized, and here's the big thing, we're going to talk a lot about this, is something that I call chilling. Something that I call chilling. I'm looking at the camera. I forgot there's a camera right here. I almost forgot. We're on live. We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Are we live?
We've been live for
This is
10 minutes.
amazing. This is amazing. I started drinking now.
There's no cameras, just us three.
It's just us three. Sweaty balls over there. You know that reference?
Of course I do.
Of course I do. Yeah, the Alec Baldwin. But I basically got to a point in my life where I was 35 years old now. I'm 40 now, where I was chilling. And what is chilling? Chilling is when you own your time. You own your time. I was 35 years old. I had money saved up. I looked at my bank account. There were way more zeros than I've ever had before. And I said, what do I want to do with my time? I was in a relationship at that point where I was traveling the world. She was from London. I was spending time in London and Europe. I was going to St. Bart's. I did all that. And I said, all right, cool. I traveled. I experienced the world. That's awesome. What's next? And basically, when you find out when you're chilling is when you own your time. So like David, let me actually ask the audience. This would be a great first question for the audience.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you guys, and let's ask the audience. If you were chilling and you owned your time, so let's put a number on this. If you had $10 million, wow. You have $10 million, David.
Okay.
Straight up.
Holy
Paul,
hell.
you got $10 million.
Okay.
What are you doing with your free time? And please, in the comment section, what are you doing if you have $10 million in the bank?
$10
and
million.
look, for some people, it might be $1 million. Some people, it might be $100 million. Whatever it is, if you've got a ridiculous number in the bank, what are you doing with your free time? What are you doing, Dave?
Sauce. $10 million. I'm probably gonna travel.
Yeah.
Buy some real estate, some houses.
Okay.
Not even to flip, just to just say I have it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Just kind of do stupid stuff with my money.
Okay,
Just
you
'cause
wanna-
it's $10 million. First
Yeah.
$5 million.
But first thing you said travel.
Yeah.
Then you said some real estate.
Yeah.
And then you said stupid stuff.
yeah.
Respect. Paul, you got $10 million in the bank. Okay, you've
Yeah.
you bought a couple of your energy Red Bull drinks. You've
Yeah,
chugged
yeah,
those.
yeah.
Now you've got $9.9999 million in the bank. What are you doing with your free time, Paul?
Well, first we'd probably go to O'Brien's, do a little karaoke.
Respect. Yes.
That'd be first.
Yeah.
Top it off, and then as a a writer director, I'd probably want to invest that in a film and start going from there. But if I didn't have a current screenplay ready to go,
Yeah.
I'd probably travel somewhere,
Yeah.
go just write for 2 to 3 months,
Got it.
and knock out a screenplay.
So drink at O'Brien's. Cool.
That's to
Number
start
one.
off.
That's
That's
here in
number
Boca.
That's
Yeah,
number
yeah.
one, yeah.
Number 2, travel.
yeah.
Number 3, work on something you love, like you're a producer, so
Yeah.
a film. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I've uncovered. And because I started this entire show, Soz Talks Money, if you're not following me on socials, all my socials are at Soz Talks Money, SOS Talks Money. Check me out there. I basically was 35 and found myself chilling. I started with financial advisors. I hundreds and hundreds of financial advisors. Best advice. Save that money, invest, blah, blah, blah. But here's what I've uncovered with chilling. Nobody successful just retires and does nothing. They don't just, the old adage of, I've made my money, I'm retired, I'm sitting on a rocking chair doing nothing, and I'm just, waiting to die. Nobody does that if you're successful. I mean, I don't think you should do that if you're unsuccessful. So what I ask people is, what would you do with your chilling? And there's only 3 or 4 of the most common responses. What are the most common responses? Number 1, like you guys both touched on, is you want to travel. Of course we want to see the world. And we're going to discuss that later on in the podcast. We've all been locked down for the last 12 months. Of course you want to travel. And when you can't travel, when some people take away your freedoms, that's when you want to exercise it the most. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay, so number 1 is travel. Number 2, you want to work on something you're passionate about. You want to pursue a passion. So for you, Paul, you wanted to work on a movie or a screenplay, right? Like Dave, you're passionate about music.
Yeah, correct.
I know you would do something with music.
Absolutely,
for sure.
yeah.
David,
Inevitably.
if you don't recognize David, let's get the camera on him. He came on PBD's podcast and
Did
played a
little
song.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So that's number 1. Number 1 is travel. Number 2, pursue a passion. Number 3 is donate your time and give back. Okay? You want to help, whether that's helping, underprivileged people, homeless people, special. I donate my time. I go to the Special Olympics every year. My buddies help run the Special Olympics here in Miami. So the point is, those are the 3 sort of cornerstones of being chillin'. And I don't know if you want to man the comment section and see what's going on there, what people are saying. But the last thing.
I got one for you.
What you got, buddy?
Young John wants to go to outer space.
Young John wants to go to outer space. You know what's funny? A couple of years ago, we probably would have laughed at him. These days, all right.
Yeah, it's actually real.
Pay up. 250 grand. Bezos will take you there. The last thing, though.
Someone said, give 100K to PBD. Trump and Obama.
Yeah, you should do that. You should do that. I gave 10K to PBD today.
There you go. Yeah, we saw that this morning.
I don't know. I'm regretting it a little bit. I don't know. No, respect. It's amazing what Pat does. It's amazing. So here, let's talk about the last part of being chillin'. Is leaving a legacy. So for me, I traveled. For me, I pursued a passion. I did stand-up comedy. I'm a huge interaction person. So if you ever seen me, I do a lot of man on the street stuff. I love interacting with people. That's really one of the main reasons I'm doing the SOSCAST, is to hear what you guys are all saying. I mean, who do we got here? Jeremy Clay in the house. Miller Property Group. Dow's Education. 666 Sleeper Cell. Help, he's homeless. Don't worry about him. Brandon Wellington. I mean, I care about these people. I want to hear what they have to say. Absolutely. Chase Gordon, what's up? Point is this. When you do all that and you donate and you give back, and this is essentially what I'm doing with SOSCAST. I get to travel. I get to be a part of the world. I get to pursue a passion. I love this kind of stuff. Give back, help people. The last thing, and this is what PBD is all about, is leaving a legacy. I remember asking, there's an event called the Heckerling Estate Planning Conference I go to every year. It was canceled during COVID. And it's like the 1% of the 1% of the 1%'s financial advisors and estate planners go to this conference. And I remember asking these people, okay, listen, after you've made all the millions and you made the billions and your company's worth trillions, what's next?
Right.
Like, what's next? You've saved, you invested, you've done all that, you've done the real estate. What's next? And the answer was just leaving a legacy. And that's what Pat's doing here with Valuetainment. You think Pat needs Valuetainment? No. He's doing this to fulfill what his chillin' is, right?
Right, yeah.
So to leave a legacy. Pat's got hundreds of millions of dollars. I just call it what it is, Leave a legacy. So that's what we're doing here. We're chilling. I'm chilling. And the point is to get you to a point where you're chilling. And I'll leave it at this. I've developed something called the 6 Principles of Wealth. We'll roll that out in the next few months, where I walk people, I gamify money, and I walk you through these 6 principles of wealth. And number 1 is having a game plan for your money. Number 2 is making sure you're not losing or going backwards. Number 3 is save that money, right? Stack cash. Number 4, helping your money grow over time, investing. Number 5, protecting your biggest asset, which is yourself, so insurance. And then number 6, you find yourself chilling. So I found myself, I'm chilling, Pat's chilling, and you do what you love. You pursue a passion, you give back. So that's what we're doing here.
I love it.
Thank you.
A little water break.
Anyway, a little water break right there. So with that being said, that's why we're doing the SOSCAST. We're here for an hour. It is now about 15 minutes in. We're on schedule. Can we get going now?
Let's get going.
Can we get going now?
You caught me in my water break. Sorry.
All right, Paul. Paul, you're fired. What did I tell you about drinking water on air?
My bad.
All right, you're good. Anyway, so that's why we're doing this. So let's get into the first story of the day. Can we do this?
Yeah.
Shocking stats. Here we go. If you guys are paying attention, here's the first story of the day. Shocking stats. Here's the deal. 70% of millennials are living paycheck to paycheck, and that's the most out of any generation. This is a Business Insider story. So here, real quick, I consider myself to be the oldest millennial. Paul, you're right there as well, 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never called myself a millennial.
You're Gen Xer. So technically we are Zennials, right on the cusp of Gen X and Millennial.
Yep.
And if you're a little bit older, you're more of a Gen Xer. I'm a tend to be a little bit younger. Millennial, Gen Y. Now, David, you're 25 years old.
I'm 25, so
you're actually the youngest millennial.
I'm on the other side of the spectrum.
You're on the cusp of being a Gen Z.
Yeah.
So that's how you guys know what you guys are, millennials. Anyway, so here's the deal with millennials. 70% of millennials are living paycheck to paycheck. That's according to a new survey which analyzed economic data and census balance surveys of over 28,000 Americans. It found that about 54% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. But millennials have that biggest broke energy. That's the title that they use. Biggest broke energy. And 70% of them are living paycheck to paycheck. I got to give a shout out to my friend Marcelo, talented guy, comedian, writer. He's like, you got to talk about this broke energy. What's the deal with this broke energy? And I think basically what it is people love to talk crap about millennials. Millennials get hated on more than any generation.
Bad rap, yeah.
I mean, maybe boomers are catching up now. Okay, boomer.
Okay, but yeah, it's a
but
retaliation
millennials
from
for the last decade, they get hated on, right?
Yeah.
They're the, crybabies, snowflakes, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
But, it's just not true. So they get hated on, and they, it's part of this broke energy. But by contrast, 70% of millennials are living paycheck to paycheck. By contrast, 40% of baby boomers and seniors, basically 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 every single day. So if you're going to a 65-year-old's birthday coming up soon, probably your parents, maybe grandparents if you're super young, they're baby boomers, okay? So 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 every single day. For the next decade or two, that's going to happen. So by contrast, 40% of baby boomers and seniors live paycheck to paycheck. That's the least out of any generation. So here's the analogy there. Millennials, okay? Millennials are 30 to 40 now, late 20s to 30. Like, they're not kids anymore, okay?
Mid-20s.
This is basically like, if you're, I would equate that the baby boomers are like the seniors in high school.
Exactly.
Millennials are kind of like sophomores. Gen
junior.
Z kind of like freshmen. Like the guys, like people a little bit younger than you.
Yeah.
Who in the office is a little bit younger than you?
Jassy, she's 21.
Jassy, she's a Gen Z. She's a freshman. She's just getting started. This is her first job.
Yeah.
Right?
Newbie.
Millennials, sophomores. You've been in the, you're here for a year.
Yeah.
Gen X.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a junior.
Yeah.
Boomers, they're seniors, literally seniors, okay? So if you don't have things figured out by senior year of high school,
Yeah.
good luck, buddy. If you're still talking about making the, baseball team senior year, maybe sports isn't for you, bro. So this is basically what I'm saying here with baby boomers, 40%. That's the least out of any generation. No shit. You've had 40 years of working to figure it out to hopefully not be paycheck to paycheck. But millennials are in last place. So to give a little comfort to millennials, it doesn't help. This is part of the article. It doesn't help that millennials have faced economic challenges one after another since the oldest of them graduated.
Exactly.
It's from in the housing crisis, 2008. I was in 2007, 2008. I had already graduated from college. I graduated in 2002, so I'd already been working for about 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Well, I don't know if we want to call it working, but I was living. So millennials kind of got screwed. They got screwed by 2008 recession. Fast forward another 12 years, they get screwed by the COVID. So basically, the pandemic threw another wrench into their plans by giving them a second recession and a second housing crisis before the age of 40. So classic millennials complaining about all these recessions, can't catch a break. The truth be told, they've had a rough go. All right, but nobody feels bad. Like nobody feels bad for you.
Because the moment you say something as a millennial that like, oh, it's been difficult, then it's like, well, when I was
a kid,
it was even tougher.
Yeah, I had to walk up a hill backwards, barefoot in the snow, with no shoes on. It's like, dude, that never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And what kind of child? Where were you living? That never happened. But people like to talk about how tough it was. Like I talk about, if I talk to my little nephew, he's 9 years old now. He's about to be 9. He's got his iPad. I'm like, iPad. When I was growing up, I had to read the whole newspaper.
I'm the exact same way with my nephew's the exact same thing.
What do you say?
iPad, cell phone, and I'm just like, wouldn't you want to play with a toy, go outside? I don't know.
Yeah. So
Gen
anyway,
Z.
wrapping this story up. So, events happen to every generation, that's for sure. But of course, the economy isn't fully to blame. Some millennials, here's the catch here, particularly six-figure earners, are known to fall victim of something called lifestyle creep. And that's when one increases one's standard of living to match a rise in discretionary income.
Yikes.
Okay, so that's like saying, all right, I make 50 grand a year. I'm going to budget. I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to save. I'm going to invest. I'm going to, but now I got to raise. Now I'm making 75 grand a year. So what does that mean? Well, that's some of that deserve mentality. Well, I've been working hard. I deserve a new car. I deserve a Rolex. I deserve to go to Tulum. Who doesn't want to go to Tulum? So this is what happens. So basically, anyway, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, I feel you. We can help you with that. There's a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about right there. But basically, as this lifestyle creep creeps in, like there's a lot of creeps in South Beach. I'm not talking about those creeps. I'm talking about lifestyle creep when you start to make more money. Yeah. You start to spend more money. You feel like you deserve nicer things. Well, I got a roommate. Fuck this roommate. He kind of sucks. Time to live on my own, right? I've been driving this, 2004 Honda Accord. Time to get that 2021 Beamer, son. I kind of got this Casio watch. That Rolex is looking nice. Anyway, this is what lifestyle creep is. You start to make more money, so you start to spend more money. And here's my advice to you: if you're making 50 as an example, now you start making 100. All right, I'm just using easy round numbers. For 1 year, act like you're still making 50 grand. For 1 year, you've been doing it for X amount of years. For 1 year, act like you're still broke, essentially. And now that surplus, that extra 50 grand, now you're maxing out your 401k. Maybe you're maxing out your Roth IRA. You're opening up your brokerage account. Maybe you're buying a piece of real estate property. The options are unlimited, what you can do. Maybe you're investing in crypto, whatever it is, you've got way more money than you had before. So that's what I started doing is when I went from 22 grand to 100 grand and from 100 grand to 200 grand and 200 and so on and so forth, I lived like I was still making $22,000.
And how do you fight the temptations to not go on that trip? Get that watch, get that.
Dude, that's a great question. It's so tough. You got to understand what the overall goal is, though, right? You got to understand what the overall goal is. If the overall, they say like, is the overall goal to look rich or to actually be rich? It's a big question.
Right.
Look, I'm from Miami. I live in South Beach. There's a lot of people out there that look rich. Broke AF. Broke AF. They're renting the Rolls Royce for the weekend. They got a sick car. Maybe they bought the car, but they're still living at home with their mama. They're going out and they're spending their entire commission check on bottles, $2,000. It happens. This is lifestyle creep. It's natural, bro. It's natural. The more money you make, clearly you want to spend more.
Right.
My advice to you is save that money, act like you're still broke, and talk to me in a few years when you're like, holy crap, I've got 100 grand in my bank account. Wow, that looked out nice. That to me is the best thing ever because money, I look at it as a tool not to buy things, but to do things, right? Let me say that again. I don't look at money as a tool to buy things. I look at it as to do things. What do I want to do, right? I go back to my chilling. I want to travel, right? You want to buy things, that's your chill. So anyway, here's actually something I thought about this. So, Instagram and social media talking about this lifestyle creep and millennials living paycheck to paycheck, even the ones that are making six figures. I think social media has a lot to play with this. Why? You want to go to Tulum. You want to go on vacation. You want to get that internet clout. How many people go to Tulum and do not post a picture? Zero?
Yeah.
Right. Like if you're traveling, you're doing, you want to get that internet clout.
Yeah. You
gotta get those likes.
You got to get those likes. We all need those likes. But here's actually a thought that I thought about. Millennials are the only generation that I got both things going on. Stay with me here. They got the social media pressure, but they're also got money coming in, especially as people making six figures. What does that mean? They got the social media and they got the money. Okay. Younger generation, Gen Z, maybe you don't have the money yet. You got social media though. So like there's a lot of younger people that are not prone to stunting on the gram because they don't have any money yet. They're in college. They're just getting started, right?
Right.
Maybe they'll take a nice selfie, but they're not in Tulum taking the selfie or in St. Bart's or in Mykonos or whatever. Older generations, the baby boomers, they got the money. They ain't flexing on the gram. Grandma ain't on the gram.
Yeah.
Right? So millennials got it coming from both ends. They got the money coming in, but they also got to flex. They got to flex. You got to flex. Anyway, that's the point here is that millennials are tough. So if you're a millennial out there, comment. By the way, give a thumbs up if you're a millennial. This is what Pat always does. Gives a thumbs up, and then what do they get? A thumbs up.
Watching.
And if you're not a thumbs, then a thumbs
down.
down
If you're a boomer.
Thumbs down. So, basically, if you're in between the ages of 21 and 40, give a thumbs up. If you're 40 plus, 45, we'll even give you a leeway. 42, 43, you're still, we'll call you millennial. 45 plus, give them a thumbs down. Let's see what happens there. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on why people are living paycheck to paycheck, especially the ones that are in lifestyle creep. All right, can we move on to our next story? Ready to have a little fun here?
Adam, can I?
Yeah, sure.
I see
Paul.
a comment here. Might want to just mention this out loud, but the Miller Property Group said, "Heads up, Adam, your fake Instagram account person is going around DMing us. Wannabe sauce."
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
So here's what happens when all we talk is money. All we talk is money. When you end up start talking money, scumbags follow you.
Yeah.
I don't mean like follow you, but like there's creepers out there that will put fake accounts out there and Soz Talks Money with 2 Ys at the end, or 3 Ys, or So Talk Money, and they're going to hit you up, and what are they going to ask for? What are they going to ask for? Some Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you for Bitcoin. The only thing I'm asking you to do is to like and comment on my pictures because I need that validation.
And also save that money.
And I'm asking you to save that money.
Hey, we have a lot of millennials, by the way, so far.
Yeah.
Shout out Nancy Tran gave a thumbs up.
Oh, Nancy Tran.
Nancy Tran.
Shout out to Silly White Boy with a thumbs up. My kind of guy. Anyway, that's that story. David, I realize we also got to kind of show some of these stats here.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paul, what's tonight?
It's the NBA draft.
Tonight is the NBA draft. Now, we're not a sports show, are we?
We're not.
We're not.
Tom Zenner for
But what do NBA players make when they get into the league?
A little bit of dough.
They make a little bit of dough. So David, I'm gonna need your help here. So pull up the what I talked about, what this rookie scale contract is. So basically, the NBA draft is tonight. I'm a huge NBA fan. I used to play a little ball myself. Now me and Paul play at the LA Fitness. I've had some friends that make it to the league. Shout out to Chris Humphries. Shout out to Duncan Robinson. Shout out to Kelly Olynyk. Shout out to Marcus Smart. These are some of my homies that play in the league. I used to crash on their couch. They've crashed on my couch. Full circle. I love the NBA. But more importantly, I love the money that these guys make in the NBA. Let's see if we can find, there's like a scale. So basically, tonight's NBA draft, tonight, the Detroit Pistons have the #1 pick. They're expected to draft guard Cade Cunningham out of Oklahoma State. What a name. Cade Cunningham?
Solid.
Sounds pretty cunning. Let's just talk about the rookie scale. So do we have that here?
Rookie scale.
Yeah, you can even just Google rookie scale, rookie salary scale. So basically, the first round pick, let's talk about first round picks. First round pick is it's the first pick of the draft is expected to make $8 million, right? 10th pick expected to make $3.5 million. The last pick of the first round is the 30th pick. He'll make $1.5 million guaranteed. So the point is, the first round is where you get that guaranteed money, and as a rookie scale, $8 million down to a couple $1 million, down to 1.5 guaranteed money, right? So what do you think about a 19-year-old who just signed and usually these contracts are 3 to 4 years.
Right.
You're making, you're 19 years old, you just got a contract for $23 million. What are you doing? What's up?
I mean, are you even in charge of that money, or do you have like a parent managing that money? Like, how much of that money do they actually see? I mean, they're adults, but
no, they see it. It's theirs. They're adults. They're not 14.
You don't have a Britney Spears situation going on here?
No.
No, that conservatorship.
I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to Britney. We feel
no,
bad
but
for
typically
Britney.
they'll hire financial advisors.
Yeah, financial advisor. I
think it's too much power for
their agent.
Dude,
Will
if
also
I had
help
that much
out.
Money,
First, you get the money.
Yeah.
Then you get the power.
Yeah.
Then you get the respect. That's just what happens.
Got it.
So anyway, here's I don't know if we can see this, but that's the rookie scale. So anyway, I think it's awesome. There we go. But the second round draft picks, basically, they don't get guaranteed money. Maybe they make $1 million, maybe, and that's nothing to poo-poo about, right? But the second round, they do not get guaranteed money. I mean, they are guaranteed to get some chicks thrown their way. That is a guarantee.
Oh, that's a guarantee.
But they're not guaranteed money. Team. But here leads me to my first story, if you want to pull this up. So this has to do with the NBA draft. Again, this is not a sports show. We're just talking about the NBA draft. Here's the story. Players are withdrawing from the NBA draft en masse following the Supreme Court's NIL ruling. This is a story from Odyssey. In a fascinating turn of events, NBA hopefuls have withdrawn from the upcoming draft en masse, likely the result of a Supreme Court ruling allowing college athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness. This is what they call NIL, name, image, and likeness. NIL. This is an amazing situation here, okay? Yeah. So this has been a debate for years. Paul, I know you're a big sports guy, yes, UCLA, sir. Bruin. Now you get all these... Paul, I see this guy saying, Charles Fuchs. No, I'm sorry. Chase Gordon saying, you can't hoop, Adam. Paul, I mean, can I hoop?
Yeah, he can hoop.
All right. I mean, a point guard here. All right. I'm not a center. I'm 6'1", and I'm tons of fun, and I dress T. See, I got more clothes than Muhammad Ali, and I dress so viciously. You know who that is?
No clue.
Okay, that's
and he can shoot.
Grandmaster Flash.
He can't just. He's not just dribbler, guys. He can also shoot.
I can shoot. I can pass. Point is, I love the NBA, but you basically have all these players saying, nah, I'm gonna sit this one out. I wasn't sure if I was gonna. Obviously, a first rounder's going. They're going to the draft. They're taking that money. But if you're a second round player or a fringe player, you're basically saying I might stay in college because I can get paid now. So here, continuing this article. Most of the players electing to stay were not first rounders, like we just talked about. Mostly projected second rounders or summer league invites. Fringe prospects hoping to latch onto a team. This doesn't necessarily close the book on one and dones. One and done in college is you go to a big, what they call a feeder school, NBA's feeder school, like a Duke or like a Kentucky or a Kansas, and
Paul Striner just said you can't shoot.
Shout out Paul Striner. We love you, buddy. So basically, you can stay in college and not have to run off to the NBA. With students now able to earn money through endorsements without forfeiting their eligibility, players may not be as eager to turn pro, continuing their studies while getting to enjoy the full college experience. Here's what I would take here. Talk about being a super senior. Talk about Ryan Reynolds and Van Wilder just staying in school, being king of the castle, BMOC, girls, party, food, and now you're a millionaire in college because you're getting ridiculous endorsements like Master P's son.
Yeah.
Hear about that?
Well, the article I had read earlier is Bryce Young, the quarterback of Alabama, has already made over $800,000 in a month.
Never even heard his name. I just know that he's the starting quarterback at Alabama. He's going to get paid.
I mean, he was a top recruit, but it goes to your point of this college is now a business, which it's always been,
yes.
but now these players are actually getting
cats out the bag, dog. Cats
Finally,
out the bag.
yeah.
So you have a lot of these seniors who are saying, you know what? Let me take my time.
I have another important comment.
Sure.
Paul Striner also said Paul E. should be hosting this show.
Wow.
Paulie's broke.
Good comment, Paul.
Anyway, we love you. Look, we're going to keep it moving. It's already, it's already 4:40. This show might go a little over an hour today, the first show, but we'll see.
Let's do it.
We'll reel it in. Anyway, next story. Talking about having fun, staying in college, super seniors. Let's talk about some of the benefits of the NBA. Here's this next story. This is a story, so I'm giving the people that wrote the article a little leeway here. This is from Bro Bible. They said the Brooklyn Nets reportedly pay for houses for star players' side chicks and girlfriends, which likely violates league rules, by the way. Brooklyn Nets apparently go above and beyond to make sure their superstar players are taken care of off the court. Brooklyn Nets insider Matt Sullivan recently said the team would pay to rent out houses for a player's side chicks and girlfriends, quote unquote, a very high-ranking official with the Nets who had a lot to do with the money and said basically, there's a blank check, and as soon as these guys got here, whether that's buying a girlfriend or a girlfriend on the side house in California for a week, a girlfriend or a side girlfriend, right? A house for a week, so renting a house. I don't know why they use that. Renting a house. Whether that's putting up money for the boys and the homeboys and equipment or for just random shit, they're totally cool with that. And basically what they're saying is the Brooklyn Nets want to get a reputation among players as being a modern franchise. So that's what a modern franchise looks like these days. If you got some side chicks and you want to,
Yeah, I'm in the wrong business.
you want to get them a house.
Yeah, we're looking for that valuetainment side chick house.
Hey, I got a couple different options here. I can go to any media company. Why should I come to Valuetainment? Well, let me tell you something, buddy. Step into my office. You got a girlfriend? Great.
You got a side chick?
You got a wife? Even better. You got a side piece? All right, so you're 3 for 3. Awesome. They all get houses. Whatever you need. That's Brooklyn Nets basketball. BKN.
I'm a fan.
All right. So anyway, to be fair, this is a story from Bro Bible. Who knows if it's true? But that's basically what they're rumoring in Brooklyn. Anyway, so who do you think is most likely on Brooklyn to, enjoy the modern franchise benefits?
I'm going to go Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving?
Probably James Harden.
James Harden,
James
absolutely.
Harden for sure. The beard?
Yeah, no doubt.
The beard?
It was his idea.
Hey, listen, I'm going to come there from Houston, but I got one caveat.
Yeah, I pitched that to them.
How modern are you, dog? How modern are you? Okay. Anyway, let's transition into more of that value. That was more of an attainment story. Let's get into a value. So we're in July. July is the 7th month of the year. We're about to approach August. This is our first show. I probably should have done this a few weeks ago, but it's time for a mid-year financial review, all right? This isn't, nobody likes doing work reviews. All right, time to assess your work. But this is about your money. So people like to take that a little bit more seriously. So here's This is a story from the Arizona Republic. Take control of your money, what you need to watch out for in your mid-year review. Here we go. Mid-year is often a good time to review your financial outlook and behaviors. Respect. That's essentially true right now, right? We're in July, so 7th month of the year. As the economy shifts from pandemic lockdowns to a more normal business environment, here are the 1, 2, 3, 4 things you need to look out for during your mid-year review. Number 1, where are all my people out there with kids? This one goes out to you. Watch out for child tax credit updates. David, you got any kids?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of, Paul?
Same.
As soon as you lose that virginity, I see you making it happen. I don't have any kids as well. But if you do have kids, if you're one of the 36 million families who might be eligible for child tax credits, look for a letter arriving from the IRS on how the program has changed and expanded the credit amount and advanced monthly payments. So basically, if you're a parent, check on Uncle Sam, see how he's doing for you. There could be thousands of dollars that you're missing out on in child tax credits. So don't just skip over those forms and actually fill them out correctly. That's number 1. Watch out for child tax credits. Number 2, beware of auto sticker shock. So if you're in the market for a new car, this is probably the worst time to be looking for a new or used cars. Prices are outrageous right now. This has become an expensive year to buy a car or truck. Vehicle inventories have dropped, so supply down, partly because of supply chain glitches that idled auto manufacturing plants, COVID, supply down, and demand is up. People want to get the hell out of there and go travel for the summer. I get it. So wait, if possible, for pricing pressures to ease possibly later in the year. And this is going to shock you guys. I haven't had a car in 10 years. We can get into that. We can get into that about why SOS hasn't had a car in 10 years. Believe me, I've saved a lot of money. On average, people spend probably between $8,000 and $12,000 a year on their car, all in. Yeah. Car payments, gas, insurance, maintenance, tickets, tolls. Paul got a boot on his car recently, right? And that's
what's happening here?
I don't know. I'm just like, that's if everything goes according to plan. Don't even get me started on PBD's car situation. But, if you can operate without a car, I encourage you to do that. Anyway, everyone wants to look good. Everyone wants to get out of their car, look good in a new car, but it depreciates 20 to 30% in the first year, and it goes down significantly as soon as you drive it off the lot. So now's not a great time to be looking for a new car. Number 3, this is what's happening here, Paul. Review your online shopping habits.
Rather not.
And by the way, for the record, you always ask me for a ride.
That's
so
true.
That's how he saved them
a ride the other day.
Because we go play basketball together, okay? Or you ask me.
And then you ask me, take you and your nephew somewhere.
We played basketball. Anyway, Paul, this is the SOSCAST show, buddy. So number 1, watch out for the child tax credits. Number 2, beware of auto sticker shock. Prices are real these days. Not a great time. Number 3, review your online shopping habits. Roughly 2 in 5 Americans say online shopping has made it harder to stick to a budget, and more than half say they have increased their spending since the pandemic began. Consumers should try to avoid the tendency to shop out of boredom, and they should be wary of making impulse purchases. Rather, follow a cooling off period by putting selections in an online cart for maybe a day before. That's what I do. I got to tell you. Call it what it is. Call it save that money. Call it just, not necessarily wanting to impulse buy. I put something in the shopping cart. I'll circle back to it 24 hours later.
Oh, yeah.
And then if I need it, I get it. But I'm not like, boom, press, click, buy. I mean, obviously, if it's something basic, it's $12, cool, get it.
Sure.
But if it's $50, $100, $200, you're about to spend that on Amazon, put it in your cart, bro, lady, whoever's doing it. Cool off. Have a cooling off period. But totally understand that.
My thing is, I put it in the cart, I circle, and then it gets sold out, and I never got it.
That never happens. It's sold out? What are you buying? That's sold out.
It's usually just like Chelsea merchandise, soccer team I like, or like there's a camera that was stolen from me. It's always gone. I'm looking on eBay, gone.
All right.
So should I pull the trigger earlier?
Cooling off period, bro, especially for big purchases. All right, that's number 3. Number 4, prepare for a bill payment squeeze. If you're facing financial stress, it's critical to recognize that the government support programs are ending and to seek help if needed. So the government's done apparently printing money. We'll see about that. Prioritize your bills. If you can't pay everything at once, make sure your rent and mortgage payments come first, utilities as well. Then use additional cash to pay for bills such as auto loans, utilities, insurance premiums, and last but not least, credit cards. So I feel like grandma right now, pay your bills. We all know you got to pay your bills. We've all been there before. Budget. So those are the 4 things you need to do to take control of your money in your mid-year review. So if you don't have kids, don't worry about the child tax credits, okay? If you're not in the market for a new car, don't worry about it. But if you are, pay attention to that. Number 3, we all do online shopping. We know that. So cooling off period, even for you, David. No impulse purchases. And number 4, pay your bills. Pay your bills. We all understand that. Okay, you ready to have a little more tainment?
More tainment.
Dave, you ready to have a little tainment?
Always.
Okay. So this past weekend, David, where'd we go?
Rolling Loud.
We went to Rolling Loud, and Rolling Loud is the largest hip-hop festival in the world. Do we have a clip ready?
Is. Yeah.
We have a clip ready? Let's play this clip of us at the Rolling Loud Festival.
All right. Coming up.
Get financial advice from?
Probably Cardi B, because she'd make me spend all of it. Kanye West.
6ix9ine.
He's no bueno.
No bueno.
My man Lil Uzi.
He bought a fucking planet, bro. Ain't nobody need that.
He's investing in planets.
Lil Uzi, because he put that dumbass diamond in his head.
You didn't like the diamond in his forehead? Okay.
No pump. Kodak Black. Kodak Black.
Kodak.
I feel like Kodak Black would just...
Kodak.
Kodak.
Kodak. There was a video of him throwing money in the water. I don't know.
Another Kodak?
Yeah.
All right, Kodak. We don't want Kodak managing our money.
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer. Maybe the best answer all day. Was a multimillionaire, now he's broke. Okay, that's the clip. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Rolling Loud. What was your impression on Rolling Loud?
You know,
we asked a lot of questions, by the way.
did.
That was just one clip, and the question that we asked in that particular segment was, if you can pick one rapper to manage your finances, who would you pick?
Yeah.
And then who's the last rapper
People hated Kodak.
you want managing your finances? Okay. So the most common answers I think we got for what the rappers you want managing your finances, we got Jay-Z, we got J. Cole.
Yep.
Kanye was in there. He was kind of on both lists.
We got a Drake in there.
We got a Drake in there.
Yeah.
Migos were in there. Quavo, Offset, these guys. It was, you know, and then he said, all right, who's the last people you want on your list? And the 3 most common answers were Kodak Black,
Yeah.
Lil Pump, Gucci. What was that song he
Gucci
sings?
Mane? Oh,
no. What's it?
Was it?
What's the song? What's the Lil Pump song?
Gucci Gang,
Gucci Gang. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And last but not least was Lil Uzi Vert. And I actually like Lil Uzi. I'm a big hip hop fan. Lil Uzi. All my friends out there, push me to the end. All my friends out there. Anyway, I like that song. But he was one of the more common people that people said, I do not want that dude managing my finances. Let's pull up this next story about Lil Uzi Vert, if you have that link. So basically, Lil Uzi is letting money go to his head, literally. So I checked his net worth, and he's worth somewhere around $15 to $20 million. However, he has a 24 million diamond
Yeah, he does.
in the center of his forehead.
Yeah, he does.
Can we take a picture? I mean, can we see that? Are people seeing that on
We're
screen?
seeing that right now.
He's got a $24 million diamond ingrained into his forehead. I can think of so many better things to do
Can you?
with millions of dollars other than you talk about stunting for the gram. This guy's letting money get to his head,
Yeah, he is.
literally. And then beyond that, money to his head, and now his head is in the clouds because apparently, let's pull up this topic, apparently he just bought a planet. I didn't know that was a thing you could do. Lil Uzi bought a planet. Paul, if you're worth $20 million, are you buying a planet? You putting a diamond in your face?
I mean, is this Mars? Is this Pluto?
No,
which planet?
no,
is
it's
it?
like
so
planet
it's just a planet.
XRZG, not in
Oh.
this solar system.
Oh no.
Let's say it was Mars.
I might-
Let's say it was Pluto. You going?
Yeah.
No,
we
no,
can go
no,
to
you're
Mars.
not.
I can build a space station there.
The point is, number one, you just spent all your
Mars,
money.
bitches.
Mars, bitches. Anyway, this is some of the stuff we're talking about. This was Rolling Loud. Anyway, that episode is coming out next week, I believe, Monday, maybe Tuesday, on Valuetainment Economics.
I think there's great real estate opportunities on Mars because I think eventually a lot of people are going to start colonizing there. So honestly, I think Mars would be a good investment.
You're in on Mars, okay? Paul, you do realize this is so crazy. You can't live on Mars. you can't get to Mars.
Matt Damon did.
Matt Damon did in a movie. That's true.
He did.
The Martian. What was that?
Yeah, The Martian.
Okay, but you know what? Let's just appreciate being here on Earth. We're here together. Let's get along. Let's not destroy the planet. Let's not have wars.
Is there a bill of sale with this planet?
I don't know. There's no price. I don't know. Is there a receipt? I'd like to return. I'd like to return this planet.
I'm just not using it as much
Sorry.
as I thought I would.
Sorry. No takebacks.
No takebacks.
No buybacks. Okay.
Release.
Moving right back along. Let's talk about. Let's move on to some big money. Let's move on to David. Do you know what net worth is?
Yeah.
What's net worth? How do you calculate net worth?
Well, I mean, I know, but Paul, what is it? Just explain it.
How do you calculate net worth?
Net worth is the combination of all your assets.
So it's like a combination. Right,
Okay,
that's what I was going to say.
And in your actual like money, like bank account.
Okay, and
Right.
Properties, real
okay,
estate.
so your net
Yeah,
worth
so it's
is
like
very
that.
simple. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Investments.
It's all your assets minus your liabilities.
Right.
You ever see that? A lot of people, they'll say assets over liabilities. Respect. Let's talk about this. So we're talking about net worth. Is $1 million enough? Is $1 million enough money to consider yourself wealthy? Yes or no? Is $1 million enough money to consider yourself wealthy? Think about that for a while. All right, here's the article. This is from Wealth Gang, not to be confused with Gucci Gang, Lil Pump. Let's be honest. If you have $1 million in liquid assets in a brokerage account or otherwise, you are doing pretty well. But are you wealthy? Is $1 million your freedom number? So I know you're thinking, $1 million, like, that's crazy, but maybe not so much. So here's some of the rules that you need to live by if you're going to consider yourself wealthy, $1 million. Number one, can you live by the 4% rule? What's the 4% rule? To put it another way, living on 4% of $1 million yields $40,000 a year. That isn't a lot of wiggle room for emergencies, luxuries, or extended downturn in the stock market. So number one, can you live on the 4% rule? A lot of people can't live on 40 grand. All right. So if that's the number that you're using, it might not be enough. Number two, how is the money invested? When it comes to making your money last, growth matters. They say, Paul, size does matter, especially with your money. If you are living on this money, you want to make sure.
Why are you laughing, David?
David, don't laugh. David, don't laugh. David, the other day, some girl said, I like you, not because your looks, because you got a great personality.
Yes,
I'm
she
actually
did.
not into good-looking men.
Correct.
How did you respond to that?
It was, what's up?
Yeah, what? Who? All right, anyway, how's the money invested? If you're living on this money, you might want to make sure that it isn't earning less than inflation. Yeah, we all know that. You can do that through passive income like real estate, crowdfunding distributions, dividend and growth stocks, or physical rental properties. Yes, you don't want your money to be victim of inflation. We all know that inflation on average year over year is somewhere around 2%. These days, it's closer to 5%. Who knows? I know Pat and Tom Ellsworth, the biz dog, made a prediction it can go double that potentially, but just keep in mind the S&P and the stock market over time returns 8 to 10%, factoring in inflation. So you got to put it somewhere. Number three, what state and city are you living in? While it's possible to live frugally in every state, certain cities make living on $40K a year a lot more difficult. Case example, there's a big difference between living in New York City or San Francisco or even Miami, where I live, versus living in Montgomery, Alabama, or Norman, Oklahoma.
Shout out Montgomery.
Shout out to Montgomery. Will you continue to work part-time? That's part of this. Supplementing your passive income with active income is a great way to help you afford more luxuries in retirement or simply help your nest egg grow. Like we talked about, being chilling, even when you have millions and you're retired, you're not going to do nothing. Are you going to still work part-time? I assure you, you should. Last but not least, how will your income distributions be taxed? If you're under traditional retirement age, you may not be able to take advantage of tax-free growth and income from a Roth IRA. If you need 40 grand to live on, you'll need to withdraw more than 4% of a taxable brokerage account. So here's the bottom line. $1 million, if you're young, feels awesome. Okay? I remember looking at my bank account at $1 million. I was like, this is insane. This is going to sound like out of touch.
Uh-oh.
It's not that much. Like, meaning I can't just retire at 40 and do nothing on $1 million. Okay? So at the same time, if you're 20, you got $1 million, like, save that money. You're doing great. It's awesome. Congrats. If you're 70, you have $1 million, that's good. You ain't balling. Okay? So, this is why
dreams you just crushed.
I know, but here's the reality. You're going to need
Morale's a little low right now for everybody.
Yeah, you're going to need at least $1 million to retire comfortably. Like, at least. So anyway, that's the importance of saving and investing, because you can't save your way to becoming a millionaire. You're going to have to invest. So we'll talk about investing on this show, obviously. Save that money. You save that money to invest. That's for sure. Here's move on to the next story. Here's how to retire with $1 million if you start investing in your 20s, 30s, and beyond. You're in your 20s. Certain people are in their 30s. Paul just turned 40.
Congrats.
Here's how you retire with $1 million. Let's assume you're starting with no savings. So you're starting from the bottom, now you're here, and that your investments will return 6% annually, and that you will plan to retire at 67. So this is just simply just a case example here, okay?
Right.
If you start saving at 20, you'll need to stash $319 a month toward retirement. Can we pull that up? There, thank you. Or about $80 a week. Is $80 a week possible? I think so. I don't think that's crazy at age 20. And you will hit your $1 million in 47 years. So again, this is assuming that you're going to retire at age 67. If you're age 20, stash $319 a month. That's $80 a week. You're a millionaire in 47 years. That's based on 6% annual return. If you start at age 30, here's where like the age and compound interest really becomes a thing. If you start at age 30, you will need to put away nearly double what you did at age 20. Now that's $600 a month, and you'll get there in 37 years. Okay. Now, if you're 40 with no savings, that number jumps up significantly. Paul, I want you to pay attention here. You need to save $1,200 a month to reach retirement, a millionaire retirement. That's almost quadruple if you started at 20. And if you're 50, you need to start saving $2,800 a month. If you're 50 and you have no savings, this article says, but there's hope. If you're 50 and you have no money, you haven't started saving at that point, I don't know. At that point, there's only a couple hopes. One of them is Bob, and he's dead. And I don't know. The quicker and younger you start, the better. And here the article, this is, by the way, a CNBC article. As you see, investing lets you take advantage of the power of compound interest, which means you're not only getting returns on your invested money, but you're getting returns on your returns. I always say this. Compound interest is your money making money on your money making money and your money making money on your money. Compound interest, Albert Einstein, or as Paul likes to call it, Alfred Einstein.
Alfred Einstein.
He
What?
He called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. He says, he who understands it earns it. He who doesn't understand it pays it. That's essentially his quote. I don't know if you want to pull that up. But I know 47 years is a long year from now, long time from now. If you're 20, 37 is a long time. If you're 30, 27. But, you know, people say life is short. Life is short. No, life is long. You know, if you have a freak accident, you die, or, you know, overdose, something crazy, freak accident, yeah, life can be short. I hear you. But we are now living longer than any generation in U.S. history, in world history. Like, you can make it to 80, 90, 100, no problem these days. Life is long, okay? So save that money, all right? Last story with that. Here we go. I know it's 5 o'clock, so we'll try to crunch it as much as possible. Let's cut that story out. We'll save that for another time. Anyone here traveling? Anyone here planning on traveling this summer? I know that we haven't all been able to travel this past year. Are you planning on travel? You trying to go anywhere?
I want to go to Europe.
Where do you want to go?
London. Yeah, London.
You want to go to London?
Yeah, I want to see
London.
That
We'll go to London.
That was Paul's accent.
some football.
Paul, where are you trying to travel to this summer? I know you were in Kentucky getting that whiskey recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't really have any trips planned per se right
Okay.
now. Supposed to go to Denver in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then maybe Arizona, and then go back to LA for
Okay.
the holidays.
You just
so
planned 3
like
trips.
trips, but
Okay. I'm planning on traveling.
Where you
I'm
going?
planning. I want to go to I want to go to New York. I haven't been. I usually go every summer.
That's right.
Planning on traveling to New York for sure.
I've been there twice already.
I've never
Thank
been
you.
to New York.
I'm very jealous. You've never been to New York?
I've never been anywhere.
You're coming
in the
with me, buddy.
Let's do it.
You're coming with me. You're sleeping on the floor. Save that
money.
money.
Save that money.
And then I want to get to Europe. I want to get to Europe at some point. Maybe.
Coming with me, buddy.
You're not going there with me. But here's the advice. Everyone needs a vacation, that's for sure. But here's the advice if you're going to take a vacation. This is also an article from CNBC. They said, use your points and miles ASAP, says a credit analyst. And here's how to get the most out of them. With millions of people sitting on points that they couldn't spend last year, plus new ones they've earned from the pandemic-era promotions, airlines and credit card companies are likely to devalue their points in the next few months, experts say. So save that money and spend those points. You don't want to get, nothing's free these days. So, take a deal when you got it. So here's a little background, a little context. For years, airlines have been moving the goalposts on how many points it takes for travelers to redeem their rewards. You ever traveled on points before?
No.
You've ever traveled on points?
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing. It's free, essentially. You pay maybe a little fee, but it's an awesome thing. So basically, here's what the airlines have been doing. So first, they stopped tying points to the number of miles a passenger has traveled, and instead they started basing them around the amount the passengers paid for the airfare, okay? So then they started requiring more points to take a free flight. So this credit expert says to consider these tips to get the most out of your points. Number one, book flights as soon as you can to avoid the price bumps and fee hikes from increased demand. Supply and demand. That's economics 101, supply and demand. A lot of people are going to be traveling. A lot of people are booking flights. The sooner you can get your flight booked, the better, the more you'll save. Number two, compare the total cost of the air travel. Compare your total cost before booking airfare. Basic economy is usually the cheapest fares. We know that. But an inexpensive award fare might end up costing more in the end because all the restrictions and add-on fees, i.e., luggage, seats, fees like that. So, they say there's certain things in life, death, taxes, airline fees. You can include that as well. And then last but not least, fly routes are feeling the loss of business travel. Business travel, they might say, might never come back. Nobody's traveling for business days. Just get on a Zoom meeting,
call,
right?
Right, exactly.
Because business travel will most likely not be returning this summer. Routes that depend on corporate travelers will have some of the lowest rates. That's why a lot of New York travel or San Francisco travel is probably pretty cheap because that's a lot of business travel. Consider traveling to the big cities that would traditionally be business hotspots, especially international destinations. So use your credit card points ASAP. Did you get anything out of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Credit card points. Got to get on that.
Thanks, Dave. Paul?
Stunning analysis by David.
Stunning
there.
analysis, David.
Got the steak and potatoes of it.
Okay. Look, this is an hour show.
Yeah.
I feel like we could go 2 hours. We're not, though. I'm just saying, just for the record, we're having fun. Can you comment if you're having fun? I don't know, DVD says to
Please clap.
Just please tell me I'm doing a good job. Please, will you? Anyway, we are having fun. This is stuff that just rolls off the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
And this is fun. We're learning what to do with your money. This is great. Now it's time for a little Q&A session. Q&A session. If you've got questions, is there a way to do that in the live chat, Dave?
Yeah,
I also have a
absolutely.
couple people. So on my Instagram, you could I'll basically ask these questions all the time. On my Instagram, you could follow at Soz Talks Money. Shoot me a DM. I'm always asking questions you need to know. Here's some of the questions and some of the polls that we have done over the last few days because we care about you. This show is about you. This isn't me being a talking head or just doing a video saying, listen up. I want you to weigh in. So I do value that. So I asked a couple different questions. What's more important? We'll talk about polls first, then we'll get into some of the questions. What's more important to you now? Saving or investing? 40% said saving, 60% said investing. That's great. That means, usually there's a hierarchy to get to. Save before you invest. Paul, what's so funny, bud?
Nancy Tran said "Funiata" in the comments section.
Paul, turn off your mic. Thanks. Then I asked the question, which are you? Are you debt-free or are you still paying off debt? 60% said debt-free and 40% said paying it off. So here's what I'm getting from this. Yeah. Our audience, people that are watching Valuetainment, they're doing better than most. So respect to you. If you're sitting here and you're watching this for an hour and you want to learn more about money and talk is money, all we talk is money, you're probably doing better than most people, or you're trying to do better than most people, right? Because we talked about 70% of millennials live in paycheck to paycheck.
40% of boomers.
50% of people are not investing. Flip a coin if you're investing. These numbers basically show our audience is doing all right. So respect to you if you're debt-free and if you save that money and you're starting to invest. The next question is, where do you get your financial advice? Is it from family, friends, and mentors, or is it from books, TV, and the internet? Mm-hmm. Take a guess.
Family, friends.
You're absolutely wrong, David.
What?
You're not even close, bro.
I base my answer off of Rolling Loud.
That's true. Don't ever base anything of what you hear at Rolling Loud. Family, friends, mentors, 16%. Eesh. Books, TV, internet, 84%. Of
course.
So here's where the rub. Here's the rub. If you're tuning into Valuetainment Economics, if you're watching the SOSCAST,
this is it.
This is the internet This is TV, but I'm your friend. I'm your homie. Maybe I'm a mentor. Who knows? So this is best of both worlds, but most people are on the internet looking for financial advice. And then I asked the question, pretty simple. Are you subscribed to valuetainment economics? 96% said yes. So shout out to you guys in the comment sections. I see it. I see it. I see it. I'm looking at all you guys. Let me give some shout outs. Joe Hoffmeister, he's here. He says, make it 2 hours. I hear you. Rodrigo's here. Miller Property Group, a lot of thumbs up. Pete, talking about the soy boy. Nikki Season, and obviously Nancy Trin. We got somebody said, Rude says, you guys are chilling, and I love it. Respect. We're getting a lot of great comments here. Let's talk about some of the questions.
Yeah, we got one here.
What you got?
Anna, any tips on how or when to find a mentor?
Any tips on when and how to find a mentor? It's a great question. Let me tell you something. If you're looking, your mentor will find you. Ooh. If you're not looking, nobody's going to look to mentor you, right? You know who benefits the most from having a mentor? You know, we would say the person that gets the mentor.
Right.
But emotionally, the mentor feels good, man. People want to help. Mm-hmm. People want to help you. People like answering. Why do you think I'm doing this? Are we charging people this? No, I want to help people. The mentee benefits because they're going to learn.
Right.
They're going to learn. They're, like an apprenticeship, internship.
Yeah.
But the mentor benefits because they feel like they're doing something. They're giving back. They're utilizing their knowledge. They're utilizing their credibility for the good and the betterment of someone else. And it does feel good. Like, this feels good helping people here. So go find yourself a mentor and ask around. The worst thing you can do is just be a wallflower. If you're looking for a mentor, start asking around, especially in the field that you're looking into. If you don't know what you're going to do, maybe just, talk to an older person that's successful. They'll tell you where to go. But find yourself a mentor. But here's a couple other questions.
Oh, go ahead. There's another good one here from Ricky. Yeah? Okay. From Ricky Aguirre. He says...
Ricky Aguilar?
No, not our friend Ricky Aguilar.
Why I oughta, Ricky?
Shout out Ricky Aguilar.
Why I oughta?
Ricky says, I saved what I thought was a significant amount, and I lost it all. Should I pay down my debt first before I invest into something again?
Okay. Is there a way to find out how much he had that he lost it all?
Ricky, if you're listening, how much did you lose?
Okay, but he said read the question one more time, please.
I saved what I thought was a significant amount, and I lost it all. Should I pay down my debts first before I invest into something again?
Yes. Well, I don't know what happened with our friend Ricky. And Ricky, I feel for you, bro. I don't know what happened to all the money you saved and how you lost it all. Something's telling me Dogecoin. I'm feeling Dogecoin on this, or crypto. Like, you saved and you just lost it all. I don't know what happened. But the answer is to pay off your debt. So now he lost it all and he has debt? What happened, Ricky? I'd love to follow up with Ricky. Maybe we can get Ricky on a call. Like,
Ricky says
get
10K.
Ricky's number. How'd he lose it?
Ricky, how'd you lose?
Tell you what, get Ricky's number. Ricky, let your number. We're going to have Ricky on the show next time.
Sure, yeah.
So the next time we were realizing here is we can go through these stories pretty fast. Obviously, the first 15 minutes are going to be explaining who Soz is and the point of the SOSCAST. We'll have a lot more time for call-ins. Get Ricky's number. We'll get him on the phone. We're going to find out what happened. But my quick answer to you is the best return on your investment is paying off that debt. Find out what the interest rate is on the debt. One time, I asked the guy, I said, how much debt do you owe? $2,000. I said, okay, what's the interest rate? No clue. I said, pull out your app on your phone. It was a Chase account. He had a Chase credit card. He pulled out his phone. He pulled out the Chase app. He was paying 24.9%. I said, do you know how bad that is? He goes, no, I actually don't. I go, look, if you're investing, you hope to make 10%. That's a pretty decent return on your investment, 10%. So you're 2.5xing the wrong way. So if this is a credit card, get that, find out what the interest rate is, get that crap out of your life ASAP. Here's a couple questions and answers from people. We'll go through this real fast. Maybe we'll try to wrap up in the next 5 minutes, yeah?
Sounds good.
Let's do rapid fire Q&A. This is from people that ask me questions on my Instagram account, Soz Talks Money. Follow and subscribe on Valuetainment if you're not, so you can be one of the people that gets your questions answered. Here we go. This is from John Thierfelder. He's a great football player. Hopefully he's listening. He says, what sales industry would you recommend for a person beginning in sales? Any industry. Learn sales. They used to say selling is telling. Tell them what you need. No, selling is asking questions. Selling is asking questions. Another question was Joseph Ness, 112 Sexton says, how did you learn to sell? I learned to sell. My first job out of college, I worked for Clear Channel Radio, and I sold airtime. That's not tangible. It's not a product. You can't sell it. And it was all needs analysis. Why are you looking to advertise? What would advertising do for your business? Is there a particular product or a night that you want to promote? What are you looking to do? How can I help you? What are you looking to do? Questions, questions, questions. Get to their needs, find out what they're looking for, and help them. So amazing book that you could, 2 amazing books you can look into is How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you care about other people and genuinely ask questions and genuinely hear what the answers are, you're going to go far in life, man. That just is what it is. And then number 2, there's something called QBS, question-based selling. Selling isn't telling, ask questions. So for John Thierfelder, I think that's how you say your name, I would start somewhere, but then that's where you start should not be where you end up. I started selling airtime. I think the most amount you can make, I asked people around, find out what the upside is, you can make $100,000 maybe. Then I started getting into financial sales. You can make unlimited potential. So what's the amount of money that you, because whatever you're selling, it's just, you're selling. It comes down to what you can make. A couple other questions here. Would you suggest Robinhood? This is from CMC Taiji. They said, would you suggest Robinhood or Acorns to kids to learn to save? Acorns is good because it basically just rounds up your money. But essentially, and this is something Meet Kevin said, it associates spending with investing, and I actually agree with him. Those are 2 different things. Spending is not investing, but I do respect Acorns. But if I had to pick one out of the 2, I'd pick Robinhood because that's where you can actually invest. But I think both are great options. Follow-up question with that. This is from Benny J. Says, best broker to set up a brokerage account. Thoughts on target date funds. Best broker to set up a brokerage account. Look, I've got a Vanguard account. I've got Fidelity. I've got Wealthfront. I've got Betterment. I've got individual stocks. The choice is yours. That's my point. Is like they're all reputable. Robinhood, Webull, Betterment, Wealthfront, Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, TD. They're all great. Find out what works for you. Don't trust anyone that says this is the best and that's the one it is. How do they know? Find out what works best for you. Interfaces like Fidelity, I have it. The interface isn't so great. Robinhood got great interface. So find out what works best for you. Thoughts on target date funds? They're great. My 401k, I max out my 401k. It's $19,000 a year. I get it. Maybe some of you can't max out your 401k. You can certainly maybe try to max out a Roth IRA that's only $6,000. But I have my 401k in a target date fund set for 2060 or whatever the year is. And it just does it for you. Look into that if you have a 401k. Here's another question. This is from ChadRad24. MJ or LeBron? Come on, bruh. MJ. MJ. Are you kidding me? That's the GOAT. There's no other discussion. I mean, it starts with MJ and then it goes down from there. Paul, would you agree?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for turning your mic back on. Best wealth building strategy. I mean, you know where I'm going with this. Save that money. Save that money. Before you can invest, like our friend Ricky, I invested and I lost all my money. No, investing is not something that, you're going to lose all your money. Save that money so you have a nice nest egg, an emergency fund, a rainy day fund, then you invest.
Do you have a number you'd recommend to the people?
$10,000.
$10,000. Then invest.
Then invest.
Gotcha.
Get to 10 G's, then invest. You ever had $10,000 in a bank account? You ever had 10 G's in your bank? At once. Yes, at once. No, not. Yeah, 1,000 and then 1,000. At once. You ever had 10,000?
No,
it's gonna feel good.
Not at the ripe age of 25.
When it happens, dude, it's gonna feel great. Paul, you've ever had 10K in your bank account?
Yes, sir.
My man.
Paul's got it all.
Paul, what age were you when you had 10 grand in your bank account?
Don't say 25.
No.
Oh, God.
30 something.
How did that feel? Seriously.
Felt amazing.
Felt awesome. I remember having 10 grand in my bank account. First time I was 27 years old. Dude, I thought I was the king of the world. I was dating a girl at the time. I remember I think I probably a little more than 10 grand, maybe like 13 grand. I remember going to an ATM, getting the receipt, and accidentally dropping the receipt.
Oh, jeez.
So she could pick it up and be like, "Oh, my boy balling." It felt awesome. Go get you 10 grand. We broke up shortly after.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that because I upgraded. Anyway, that's another story. Here's another question. This is from Crazy Cool Creations. He says, what percentage of holdings should options be? Full disclosure, I don't own any options. I don't understand options. It's very complicated. So for me, it's 0. For you, look, I'll use options the same way I would categorize anything riskier like crypto. 5% of my net worth, maybe at this point closer to 10, is crypto, Bitcoin. Okay, cool, because that's appreciated. Anything risky, I would keep it like less than 10%. You know, the majority of your investments should be in your 401k, your Roth IRA. If you do real estate, respect, I feel you on that. It should not be in crazy, complicated things like options. If you understand options, maybe go long on that. But that's not for me. Cup to Joe says, thoughts on Dan Pena? Not a fan. Not for me. Do you know who Dan Pena is?
No, but
he's this sort of old, crotchety billionaire guy. He just curses like crazy.
Oh, yeah, Dan Pena.
I look at it this way. If you curse more than me, and if you curse double, triple more than me, dude, just relax.
Like, I know Tony Pena. Tony Pena.
Thank you, Paul.
So call back to the 10 G's, 1 saved question.
Yes, sir.
Someone asked, invest the 10 G's, 1 saved, or what do you do?
No. You stack the 10 G's. And then you invest the money that comes in.
What you would have put into your savings.
Keep 10 G's, bro.
Just keep 10
liquid.
G's. That's your...
Keep liquid. That's your buffer. That's your emergency fund. That's your rainy day fund. That's your 6 months of savings. Save up that 10 G's, then you can start investing.
There's your answer.
Okay. Okay, a couple last questions. If you were... This is from 10K Ami. If you were 28, you had a house, wife, and kids, would you grow your business or go the corporate gig route? Look, I'm a little older than 28. I don't have a house because I rent. I'm a big fan of renting. We can get that into another episode. I don't have a wife, and I don't have kids. But at age 28, I still think you're definitely young. And I would say do both. And hear me out here. Take the corporate gig. Take the money, the guaranteed money. You got rent. You got bills to pay. You got a wife, but live and die that side hustle, that business you want to create, okay? So if you can only do one of the two, if you want to take more risk, grow your business. I feel you. If you're less risky, do the corporate, but I would do both. I don't think it's a binary option. Last question. This is from I Am So Happy and Luis. He's so happy. By the way, my name's Luis. He says, what does SOS mean? Okay, cool. Thank you for asking that. So... Sos, that's the first 3 letters of my last name, Adam Sosnick, and that's me. I've been called Sos my whole life.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, thank you. And but it also stands for spend or save. It also stands for save our souls. I mean, that was a thing. So, and it also is the first 3 letters of the SOSCAST. Sure. So, thank you for your questions. I will do more next week on Instagram, and we'll figure out a way how to do it here, and we're gonna get Ricky on the phone for next episode. Can we do that?
Yeah, Ricky.
We definitely want to take more calls next episode.
DM our @Valuetainment on Instagram with your phone number, and we'll get you on the line.
Thank you.
Get you on the horn.
So it's time for wrap-up time. Before I get into mine, why don't I start with you guys? Thank you for being here. Seriously, David, you're gonna be a regular fixture here.
Yep.
Final thoughts on your end.
Final thoughts. Exciting first episode. Looking forward to more banter, more financial talk. Learning. I mean, I learned just at 25 sitting here with you. I know that I'm definitely going to be setting myself up.
Nice,
for,
man.
Success.
You're my target audience, bro.
I sure am.
You really are. So respect. I hope you're going to learn.
I will be the voice of all millennials.
You're going to be my guinea pig.
Okay.
You'll be my guinea pig. Paul, how you feeling out there?
Good. I need to use restroom. We're 20 minutes over. I drank a lot of water before this.
Paul,
turn your mic off.
Paul is... I would say Paul. But anyway, so here's what I want to say here. Here's my 2 cents. Thank you. Thank you for the 250-something people that turned on live. Way more than I expected. Okay?
Yeah.
I was like,
good,
how many people are going to be here?
Showing.
20, 30, 40? I don't know. So I see your comments. We're going to look at the comments. We're going to give you shout-outs consistently. We're going to figure out a way to get even more interactive with the crowd, because we want to have calls, we want to have questions and answered. This is what we want to do.
Yeah.
We're doing this for you. Part of the problem that I had with doing my segments on valuetainment economics was I'm just talking to a camera. I'm not getting feedback. I love the feedback. I love the banter. Love seeing your comments. They're actually mostly good comments, respect. But, so you can't win them all. So I hear your comments and I appreciate it and respect. So That's it. Thank you guys all for tuning in to our first inaugural episode of the SOSCAST. Unless PBD cancels this, I have a good feeling we'll be back next week. So thank you for being part of the SOSCAST. We'll see you next Thursday, 4 o'clock. Enjoy the weekend, and remember to save that money.
Save that money.